Welcome today. My name is John Mazzara with Remax Results. I'm back with a new video today with my friend and favorite loan officer, Mr. Pete Moy. Pete works for Caliber Home Loans, and he told me about something that was absolutely unbelievable. And so I want to share this with you in case this would be beneficial. Now, Pete works on regular A paper, and he works on, of course, some of the down payment assistance programs. And he did something where he combined 4 loans to help a buyer get into a home. 3 of them were down payment assistance, or is it four of them, Pete, that were down payment assistance?
There were 4 different down payment assistance programs attached to a Minnesota Housing FHA first mortgage.
So there were really 5 loans.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So how many loan officers do you know that would work that hard to get one file done to get somebody into a home? I don't know of any other than, of course, my friend Pete Moy. So Pete's going to tell us a little bit about what he did and how he helped somebody who might otherwise have never gotten into home ownership, and some of the programs that are out there, both what he currently used for this person, as well as a new program that's almost as unbelievable as the other 4 that he used. And he'll tell you a little bit about himself. So Pete, I'm going to hand it over to you. Take it away, buddy.
Hi. Okay. I'm Pete Moy. I've been a loan officer for over 10 years. I'm currently at Caliber Home Loans. I specialize in helping, first-time home buyers, buy a home. I've always said that, if you have decent credit, you don't need to have perfect credit, but preferably 640 and above credit score. But if you're a little bit below that, I do have resources that can help you get above that. If you don't have a lot of money, I can usually find you the money to buy a house. So don't let money be the obstacle. The perfect example is the loan I just did for a client. She is a single mother. She had 2 young children, and she was on fixed income, and as well as her husband passed away, so her kids were getting survivor benefits. Okay, she would never have been able to buy a home had I not put $55,000 worth of down payment assistance to help her out. I used 4 different programs. The 4 programs I used were, I did a Minnesota Housing startup loan with a $15,000 FHA, $15,000 deferred down payment. And then I got another $20,000 from the city of Minneapolis because her home was in the Camden area in Minneapolis that she ended up buying. Then we did Community Keys Plus for another $10,000 from a nonprofit, Neighborworks. And then they also had another down payment assistance program that they got money from Minnesota Housing Impact Fund money, another $10,000. So there was 10,000, actually 20,000 from Neighborworks. So 20,000 from City of Minneapolis and the 15,000 from MHFA for a total of $55,000. Then the borrower had to put in a couple $1,000. Neighborworks requires that the buyer put in at least 1% of the purchase price or $1,000, whichever is greater. So in her case, she bought a house for $220,000. So she had about $2,200 plus the inspection in the transaction. Now she's got a beautiful home, and she was renting prior to that, look, $2,100 a month. Her house payment with taxes and everything included was under $1,400. So we were able to save her over $700 a month. But then plus she owns a home.
That is a gift from God, buddy. That is incredible.
Yeah.
So I don't know of any loan officer that will work as hard on down payment assistance programs. And like I say, I had to bring this video out today because doing 5 loans together on one file. I mean, imagine the work that Pete put into this, the calls, the paperwork. And he did it because he wanted to help this lady. Many other loan officers would have said, I don't think so. Or they might do one, but that still wouldn't have been enough to work for this person. But that's the kind of dedication that Pete has. So Pete will work with you on anything. He just doesn't work on down payment assistance, but this is an example of his dedication to his craft and his tenacity. So if you want to work on getting a home loan, Pete wants to work with you. You work together in a partnership to do that. Whether you're a buyer working with another real estate agent, obviously I'm a real estate agent. This is my real estate channel, and I'd love to help you. But if you're working and you're watching this and you have another loan officer or another realtor, that's fine. Call Pete. You don't have to work with me to work with Pete. And you may want to get a second opinion if you already are pre-approved. Pete would love nothing more than to help you make the right decision on a loan, even if it means staying where you're at. He's just honest guy. So he'll tell it to you straight. And that's what I love about him. Now he's got something else that he wanted to share with you, a secret. It's brand new. And Pete, tell us what you got. The next program that's incredible.
I really do think this is a really great program. Ramsey County recently, within the last couple of weeks, came out with a new program where you get up to $92,000. A little bit actually a little bit more than that, 92,600 to buy a house, or 25% of the purchase price, whichever is less, as long as you're a first time home buyer. That money is forgiven. The down payment money is forgiven over 20 years.
Say that again, Pete.
The money is forgiven over 20 years.
Forgiven. $92,000 forgiven. Correct?
Yep, correct. And
okay.
It's forgiven, and you don't have to stay there 20 years. It's forgiven at a rate of 5% a year until 20 years, and then it goes away. So even if you only live in a house for 10 years, half the money that you get from the county would be forgiven. And
Wow.
then there's 0% interest on that money. No payments required. You just have to qualify for a FHA, VA, or Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac conventional loan.
No, I have to be first generation. So nobody that's, let's say, like I'm, I don't know, third generation or something, or maybe fourth. I have no idea. But anyway, so I would never qualify. But if, let's say I was a recent immigrant and I was the child of an immigrant, what is it with the child, that now is an adult, would they qualify, or is it just the parents?
No, usually it's, so it doesn't have, it could be parents, okay, as long as, their parents, they're the first generation homeowner, okay, or it could be the kids, okay, if they, they got kids and the parents never owned, so either one would work. The only thing is you have to make less than 80% of the area median income based on household size. And if your household size is 4 or more, then it's 100% of the area median income based on household size. And you can buy a home anywhere in Ramsey County except the city of St. Paul. So, so pretty much, Arden Hills, Shoreview, New Brighton, Maplewood, Roseville,
Well, I know I'm just kind of catching you on the fly, Pete, but what about North St. Paul or West St. Paul? Is that South St. Paul? Is that St. Paul, or is that not St. Paul? Or do you got to check?
I actually looked at that. Okay. North St. Paul is in Ramsey County. West St. Paul and South St. Paul are in Dakota County. So we're not.
Okay. Got it. I know that. I forgot that. Okay. Thanks, bud. That makes sense. Another question. So this is the Ramsey County program. However, doesn't Edina have something similar for first-time immigrants, or first-time? I don't know what word do I want to use? Not necessarily immigrants, but first-time homeowners, or what word do I want to use for that?
Yes, Edina has a similar program for first-generation homeowners.
First-generation homeowners.
Yep,
okay.
Yep. However, it's a little bit more difficult to find a home in Edina, because of prices.
Sure, but you could do it on a condo in Edina, correct?
Yes, correct.
Or a townhouse.
And
I just helped a buyer get one for a little over 200 grand at Edinburgh. So first generation homeowner could absolutely do it in Edina.
That is correct.
Awesome. So these are just 2 programs that you're aware of, or that I'm aware of. You're probably aware of more. How many DAPs do you know of, Pete? How many down payment assistance programs you have in your collection that you can do?
Well, I don't know. I know, in the Twin Cities, there are at least, 25, not all of them are funded at any given time, but most of them are. I can also help borrowers, if there are programs like in Northfield, even, outside the metro area. There are
Well,
programs.
that's a good point. If somebody is watching this video and they're like, well, I don't live in the Twin Cities. Well, some of the programs are statewide, like MHFA. So you could, it doesn't matter where you're geographically located, have computer and, have URL. So, you could do a loan anywhere in the state of Minnesota. And actually you do them all over the country. Is that not correct?
Yeah, as Caliber, we are nationwide. So I would, we do have access to, the local down payment assistance programs. I would hook you up with a loan officer, in your area, that can help you, that is more familiarized with the programs locally.
Awesome. Awesome. So you are somebody who's one-stop shop, honest guy, knowledgeable guy, qualified guy, hardworking guy. You'll put in the extra effort, 150%. You'll tell people straight up, like I'm straight up, you're straight up. So, if it's not going to work, you'll tell them what they need to do so that they eventually can buy a home if that's their goal. There are some criteria, income-wise, geographic-wise, I'm going to say birth-wise, in the sense of first generation. So for some of the programs, others you don't have to. You can be, the seventh generation or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just that a couple of them that you have are just specific for first generation home buyers. Is that correct? Otherwise,
Correct.
Everything else qualifies. You don't have that criteria.
Correct. Yeah, most of the programs, most of the city programs are first-time home buyer, programs, which means you could not own a home in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do make exceptions for if you recently divorced or something like that.
Oh.
Then some of them do have that exception, but that's not every program. MHFA has got the step-up program, which you don't need to have a 3-year, 3-year limitation. So, so again, if you're recently divorced or you want to buy a bigger home, or so MHFA's got options there.
Awesome. So obviously, and you know how to direct people. So the first call should be to Pete, and then the second call should be to me. After
Correct.
Pete gets you approved, I'll help you buy a house. But again, we're a la carte. So you can work with me and your existing loan officer. You can work with Pete and your existing realtor. So I'm presenting you this information today because I really do like Pete, and I know that he is qualified and very competent. We just closed a transaction here about, a week ago, and it went very smooth as usual. So I want you to think about giving him a call, regardless of whether or not we do business together. I hope we do, but if we don't, I hope you enjoyed the video. And Pete, how can people reach you? I'm going to put this in the description of the video, but why don't you give everybody your phone number and anything else you'd like to part with before I end this video?
Okay, best way to reach me is you can call me. I'm with Caliber Home Loans. My number is 612-801-7515, and you can email me at pete.moy@caliberhomeloans.com, and that's PETMOY@CALIBERHOMLOANS.com.
Okay, wonderful. Pete, enjoyed speaking with you today. Thank you for sharing this. I think you're really going to help a lot of people, at least making them aware that, you don't have to be a renter unless you want to. Home ownership is in almost everybody's purview, subject to income and credit, of course. But that's something that you're going to help people with because you're dedicated. A lot of loan officers will not spend the time to do this. It's a labor of love for Pete. Pete, thanks again for coming on today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.